The Galactic Council had made many mistakes in their 3,000-year history, but threatening the pet of Captain Kate Morrison's daughter would prove to be their most catastrophic error yet. It started innocently enough. The diplomatic vessel Serenity's Pride had docked at the neutral station Epsilon 7 for what was supposed to be routine trade negotiations. Kate had brought her family along, a decision she was now questioning as she stood in the station's administrative office, her 8-year-old daughter Emma clutching her hand, and her security officer, Lieutenant James Smith, standing rigid beside her. "I'm sorry, Captain Morrison," the Valorian administrator clicked through his translator, his crystalline eyes reflecting no empathy. "But the creature your offspring has brought aboard violates 17 different health and safety protocols. It must be disposed of." Emma's honey badger, affectionately named Pickles, sat in a containment cube behind the administrator's desk, making low growling sounds that echoed ominously through the sterile chamber. "Disposed of." Kate's voice was dangerously calm. Smith recognized that tone. He'd served under her for 5 years and had seen what happened when she used it. "The creature is classified as a Class 4 apex predator," the Valorian continued, oblivious to the shift in atmosphere. "We cannot allow it to remain on this station. Our sensors indicate it possesses enhanced aggression protocols and redundant survival mechanisms that make it a threat to all station residents." "That's my daughter's pet," Kate said slowly, each word measured. "She's had Pickles since she was 5. That honey badger has traveled with us across 14 systems." The administrator's crystalline form seemed to shimmer with what might have been dismissal. "Then you should have been more responsible with your offspring's choice of companion. The creature will be terminated within the hour." "This is not negotiable." Emma began to cry. Smith's hand moved instinctively to his sidearm. That's when everything went wrong. The Valorian security forces, interpreting Smith's movement as aggression, activated their containment protocols. Force fields sprang up around Kate, Emma, and Smith, separating them from each other. In the chaos, someone, either through incompetence or malice, deactivated Pickles's containment cube. The galaxy had cataloged thousands of Earth species. They understood the concept of apex predators. They had documented lions, sharks, and bears. They had read about Earth's evolutionary arms race with bemused academic interest. But they had fundamentally misunderstood the honey badger. Pickles emerged from the cube like a small, furry missile of pure vengeance. The Valorian security officers, with their advanced plasma weapons and reinforced exoskeletons, discovered what rural Earth farmers had known for millennia. Honey badgers simply did not care. The first officer went down when Pickles latched onto his leg joint, teeth finding the weak point in his armor with surgical precision. The second managed to fire his plasma rifle twice, both shots hitting Pickles directly in the torso. The honey badger paused, seemed to consider this development, then continued its assault with renewed vigor. "Sweet, merciful void," Smith whispered, watching through the force field. "They shot her. They actually shot Pickles. Honey badgers have evolved to withstand bee stings, snake venom, and predator attacks," Kate said, her voice still that dangerous calm. "Their skin is too thick and loose for most attacks to penetrate vital organs. And when they do get hurt," Pickles demonstrated by ripping through a control panel, causing the force fields to flicker and fail, "they get angry," Kate finished. The next 10 minutes were educational for the Galactic Council's representatives present. They learned that honey badgers possessed a fearlessness that bordered on suicidal. They learned that these creatures could emit a defensive secretion that made even the station's advanced air filters shut down in protest. They learned that a 30-pound mammal could reduce a squad of armed security personnel to gibbering wrecks. Most importantly, they learned what happened when you threatened the pet of a human child in front of her mother. Kate had retrieved Emma, who was now cheering for Pickles with the bloodthirsty enthusiasm only an 8-year-old could muster. Smith had activated the emergency beacon, summoning the entire complement of the Serenity's Pride's crew, 37 humans who had all, coincidentally, heard about the attempted disposal of their captain's daughter's pet. The Valorian administrator was attempting to crawl away when Kate's boot came down in front of Emma. "Now," she said conversationally, "let's discuss those health and safety protocols." By the time the Galactic Council's peacekeepers arrived, the situation had been resolved. The Serenity's Pride's crew had secured the administrative section. Pickles having thoroughly terrified every non-human on the station, was contentedly eating a protein bar in Emma's arms, none the worse for having been shot multiple times. The wounds were already scabbing over, another honey badger evolutionary advantage. The council's lead peacekeeper, a dignified Arconian named Velzar, surveyed the scene with mounting horror. "Captain Morrison, you cannot what?" Kate interrupted. "Defend my daughter's pet from unprovoked execution? Respond to your station's security forces attacking my crew? Lieutenant Smith, what does Earth law say about threatening a child's companion animal?" Smith consulted his datapad with barely suppressed glee. According to the revised Geneva Convention, Section 47, subsection C, such threats constitute psychological warfare against a minor. "It's classified as a war crime, ma'am." "A war crime," Kate repeated, letting the words hang in the recycled air. Velsar's feathers flattened in distress. "Captain, please." The administrator overstepped his authority. "We acknowledge this, but you must understand we've never encountered a creature quite like—" He gestured at Pickles, who chose that moment to yawn, displaying impressive fangs. "Like a honey badger," Kate supplied helpfully. "Yes, I've noticed your databases are incomplete regarding Earth fauna. Perhaps that's something we should rectify." The negotiations that followed would become legendary in diplomatic circles. The Galactic Council agreed to a complete overhaul of their pet classification system, acknowledging that humans had a different relationship with their companion animals than most spacefaring species. They agreed to reparations for the attempted destruction of personal property. They agreed to formal apologies, and they added a new entry to their database on Earth species, flagged with the highest priority warning, honey badger, Mellivera capensis. Approach with extreme caution. Do not threaten. Do not confine. Do not engage. Especially do not threaten in presence of human offspring. Species demonstrates unprecedented aggression, pain tolerance, and tactical adaptability. Most critically, species has formed symbiotic protective relationship with humans. Threatening honey badger will result in human retaliation. Human retaliation is inadvisable. As the Serenity's pride departed Epsilon 7, Emma sat in the observation deck with Pickles curled in her lap. The wounds from the plasma shots already healing. "Mom," she asked, "why were they so scared of Pickles?" Kate smiled, running a hand through her daughter's hair. "Because, sweetheart, the galaxy spent millions of years evolving sophisticated survival strategies. Earth spent those same millions of years in a biological arms race that produced creatures like honey badgers, animals that evolution decided needed just one survival strategy: absolute, uncompromising aggression." Smith, standing watch nearby, added quietly, "And they learned the hard way that humans are just as protective of those creatures as the creatures are fearless." Emma giggled, hugging Pickles closer. The honey badger, completely unbothered by having been shot, threatened, and involved in an interstellar incident, simply closed its eyes and went to sleep. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Some threats, no matter how small they seemed, were simply not worth making, especially when it came to a human child's honey badger. End.